Hello everyone, my name is Ian and you're watching Big Rock Moto. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you're new here and you like this kind of content, I hope you will consider subscribing. Now, today I'm bringing you a ride-tested review of the REV'IT Cayenne 2 Hot Weather Mesh Adventure Riding Suit. Now, if you've watched many of my videos in the past, you know that I really tend to do most of my adventure riding 9 months of the year, even 10 months of the year probably, in mesh suits. The reason for that is I live in a warm climate, I tend to run warm, and for off-road riding, I just think mesh is the best way to go. When you combine a suit like this with layering underneath for a mid-layer for warmth and potentially a rain or storm layer over the top, in my opinion, this kind of suit becomes the most versatile solution for adventure or dual sport riding in all sorts of different weather and riding conditions. All right, so today we're obviously focusing on this suit you see here. This is REV'IT's new Cayenne 2 Hot Weather Mesh riding suit. Now, I've owned and tested a lot of REV'IT gear. I've had the Sand 4, I've had an old version of the Cayenne Pro many years ago before it was a mesh suit. I've had the original Cayenne suit, and now I'm wearing the Cayenne 2. Full disclaimer, REV'IT did send this gear out to me free of charge for testing and evaluation. However, I am not sponsored by REV'IT. REV'IT does not pay me to make these videos. All right, so let's quickly break down the features of the Cayenne 2. Now, if you want all the nitty-gritty details, I'd encourage you to visit REV'IT's website, videos on YouTube. Also, RevZilla did a very good video. I believe it was Spurgeon who walked through the jacket and the suit's features. So I'm just gonna give you a shorter version of that. Features of the suit. So it's using a mix of, the Cordura fabrics, but also the Schoeller Dynatech mesh. The Dynatech mesh panels you can see here, the darker panels, these are the airflow panels. It's very similar to the fabric that you see on the very popular Climb Baja S4 riding suit, which I also own and also love to use. The Schoeller Dynatech mesh is a very strong material for abrasion resistance, tear resistance. It also flows a lot of air. This suit features CE Level 2 armor, REV'IT's proprietary armor pieces, which are huge and extremely strong and protective and limb specific. So you have CE Level 2 in the knees. You have hip pads. I don't think the hip pads are CE Level 2. They're not rated for that. The elbow pads are CE Level 2, shoulder CE Level 2. The back pad is CE Level 2, that's included, you don't have to pay extra for that. And I have added CE Level 1 divided chest protector from REV'IT to give me the chest protection, which I really like having. Some other features we've got on this suit, we've got a good zipper combined with a Velcro adjustable closure for riding over enduro, off-road style boots. You've got good storage pockets. You've got 4 pockets in the pants. You have external pockets here on the jacket. You've got this arm pocket here. Then you've got internal storage as well. You also have a big storage pouch on the back. This jacket has a hydration pouch, although there's no hydration pack included. There's no bladder included. It also has a lot of fit adjustments. So you have the Velcro closures on the cuffs or the wrists. You've got a fit adjuster here for the elbow armor, a fit adjuster up here for your bicep. I have huge biceps, obviously, so big that I barely fit in the jacket. So obviously I had to take those all the way out. You've got fit adjusters here on the sides for the torso, and you have these zipper adjusters here as well if you want the waist to be a bit more loose when you're getting off and on the bike. What I like about REV'IT is they give you a ton of adjustments, unlike the Climb riding gear, so I really do like that about REV'IT. And finally, you get a waist connection zipper. So the suit does zip together, so if you're concerned about sliding down the asphalt, you want that abrasion resistance protection from the suit separating, you do have that feature baked in. Now let's talk about what the suit doesn't have. The suit does not include liners. So no waterproofing, no warm liners, no storm layers. You're gonna see that in a lot of high-end riding gear. The reason for that is, as you tend to get more advanced in your riding and you've tried a lot of stuff, you kind of learn that layers are kind of best separate. So for me, I use a heated mid-layer jacket. I'm partial to the Moto Ectotherm, which I reviewed. And then for an over jacket, for a storm layer or a waterproof layer over the top, which I only use when it's raining because I think it's really strange and really stupid, frankly, to wear hot, sweaty, rain-proof gear when it's not raining most of the time on a ride. I put that stuff over the top. I have REV'IT rain suits that pack really small. I also have some stuff like the Moto rack pullover and rack pants, which are really great high-end rain gear that you can pack with you. So I believe in that layering approach. So that does set this apart from something like REV'IT's own Sand 4, which includes those layers for all season riding. This is more of a dedicated warm weather suit which, if you know how to layer properly, can be used year round, maybe just not in the coldest or wettest climates. All right, so we should talk about the fit of the suit. REV'IT sizing can be a bit strange. It's more of a slim cut. So if you don't like the boxy cut that maybe Climb or some of the American brands have, this is the opposite of that. You can see it's a very form-fitting design. I'm wearing a 36 pant. I do wear a 36 jean or trousers, and so that does seem to fit true to size, no problem there. However, the jacket sizing runs small. So in REV'IT's own Sand 4 or other suits that I've had, I have been a large jacket. In this jacket, I bought the large, it was too small. I had to have them take it back and give me an extra large. So at my specs, I'm about 200 pounds, about 90 kilograms. I'm 5 foot 10 inches or 1.78 meters tall, 32-inch inseam, and I wear like a 42 to 44 jacket or a large jacket in almost every other brand. But in the Cayenne 2, I do have to go up to an XL. It just fits really small, so keep that in mind. All right, so what are the pros and cons to the Cayenne 2 suit? Let's start with the pros. It's extremely heavy duty and well made. It feels like I could slide this thing on a racetrack, not that I recommend that, and that it would hold up. The fabrics are extremely heavy duty, extremely well sewn together, put together, and it just gives you a feeling, especially with all that CE Level 2 large armor pads, that this thing is ready for battle. It's very well made in that respect. Another pro for me is I mentioned the armor that's really great, but also they give you the inserts or the space to put chest armor. And I've talked about this in other videos. It's a real pet peeve of mine when gear companies don't include pockets for chest armor. I like to ride with chest armor, so thank you REV'IT for giving us that option. It is an optional extra, but I highly recommend it if you pick up one of REV'IT's suits. Another pro is that it includes a CE Level 2 ventilated back protector. Some of REV'IT's more affordable offerings don't include the back protector, and I do think it's a good thing considering this jacket and pants price point that they did include that. Another pro of this suit, and this should be kind of obvious, but this wears a lot cooler for mild weather riding, for warm weather riding, than a REV'IT Sand 4 or a REV'IT Off-Track or something like that. I've tested those suits. This does flow a lot more air, and it should because it's primarily a mesh suit. What are the downsides to the Cayenne 2 riding suit? I've mentioned the sizing. It's a little strange, so check the sizing charts before you order it. Another con, of course, is the price. I'm not going to lie, this is a high-end premium product, and the price does seem pretty high up there for what you're getting. It is a high-quality piece of kit, but around $700 for the jacket and then more for the pants. You're definitely making an investment here. Two more cons that I would have that I think you should consider if you're considering spending this much money. One is that it doesn't ventilate quite as well as some of the competition. I think the reasoning for that is because it has more solid panels than something like Climb's Baja S4, which I also own and use frequently. This suit, while it does flow a lot of air, it doesn't ventilate quite as well as that Baja S4 or some of the other mesh gear out there. Another downside for me that I've noticed, I've used this suit a lot off-road on this bike and other bikes, is that it doesn't have as much stretch zones as I would like to see. So some of the other gear I have, what I like about some of the gear is that they give you a lot of stretch areas when you're moving around mobile on the bike, standing up, working the bike hard off-road. You get those stretchy areas to make the jacket more comfortable and the pants more comfortable. I wish REV'IT would incorporate more stretch zones into this suit because it feels like it can be a little bit constrictive. And if you get a size that's maybe a half size too small for you, that issue is going to be exacerbated even more. So I'd like to see more stretch zones incorporated into REV'IT's gear. I think it's a weakness in their whole lineup that I would like to see them potentially address. So who is the REV'IT Cayenne 2 riding suit for? Let me try to describe this. So I think if you're somebody who tends to be on the warm side and finds the Gore-Tex type of riding gear to be too hot, if you ride in warmer climates, if you want something that is more form-fitting, more slim-fitting, maybe you're a more slender person, if that's a style that you prefer, you want amazing abrasion resistance and impact protection all in one garment for maximum versatility, and you're willing to layer underneath and over the top with layers for warmth and layers for wind and water protection. If you're willing to do all that and make those investments, this is just about the best there is for a warm weather adventure riding suit. And in my opinion, like I said at the beginning of the video, even if you're riding in all different climate, all different weather conditions, when you're off-road, when you're going slower, if you're doing off-road riding, you're gonna get too hot in a typical waterproof riding suit. So this can be a really good solution if you're willing to do those layers that I talked about. So that's about it. Let me know if you have questions or comments down below. Thanks again to REV'IT for sending this out. Please consider using my links when you're shopping for gear. It helps support the channel. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching. Ride safe, and I'll see you out there.